1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
An old tree. Looks like it could fall down at any moment.
Ah, there we go. So I was just to look over this again.
There we go.
That's no way secure. You should have broken your fucking face. I'm glad you didn't, but you should have.
Too steep. I can't get a grip anywhere. I should be able to get up here. Oh, phew. That was close. I hope this is all worth it. Definitely a rock face.
I wish there was a way to force the, like, I know there's something back there, like, this up. Like, look at Warcraft 3, if you hit Alt, you can have all the help bars appear or whatever. Wish there was something like that in this.
There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise that they are runes in the Dwarven language.
Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding as the rock, and soak the land in their blood. Huh? Hello? Master Garen, Lot Yonan sent me to bring some items back to you.
I'm not telling him to do this.
My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I have never been to Greenglade, but I think I will like it there. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
You recognize the following words as rune names, but they're written in the learned language, so you don't know which they are.
Greenglade. Oh, great. Useful. An eternal flame. I know who taught him that.
You see sketches and notes on the architectural features, statues and wall reliefs. It seems Garen spent a lot of time studying this place.
Maybe he's kind of a dwarf historian, or maybe he's just a treasure hunter. Hello? Is anyone there?
The Nazgul are back. And it's funny, I just got done playing Shadow of War. It's 2 DLCs.
A series of weapons that are all clearly of dwarven origin. The spider webs and rust suggest they have been here for quite a while. Maybe even centuries. you have difficulty deciphering the scrawl.
Throw the firstlings in the forge. Beat the secondlings to a pulp. The fourthlings are... The rest is illegible.
This place is ominous as shit.
Born of stone, forged in battle. Arise, reborn from the blood of the enemy.
You're not sure if you really want to know what was once in this basin. The whole place gives you the feeling that a decent dwarf shouldn't hang around too long.
A sarcophagus. Perhaps I could open it.
Perhaps, but we don't have Brendan Fraser here handy if there's a mummy that comes out of it. I think I screwed this one up. I think I wasn't meant to light the middle one. But there's no way to put it out, so... Oh, actually, I think I remember this from the cutscene, from the music video. But, see these lines. Thinking maybe I wasn't meant to.
Thirdlings, the fortress belongs to the dwarf haters. Norimber's dwarves are not only as unyielding as a mountain, they are also as destructive as an avalanche, and would batter into lesser kingdoms just as relentlessly. The four should find no salvation in Vracus, only eternal damnation, so that they suffer indescribable torment between the worlds.
You have heard of the dwarf haters, but this is the first time you have read their hateful words. You feel sick and turn away.
Rune. Clearly magical.
That's Ohm, I know. I recognize that. Presumably they all are, but...
Ah, that's it. Garen's most valuable belongings. Letters from his lover, a silk scarf that must have belonged to her, and a medallion.
It looks as though Garen lived in the fortress for a while. It also seems that he left several lunar orbits ago.
He's not stealing. It would just be a shame if the provisions went off.
Wish you told me how much I got. I kind of... Well, I didn't see the previous number was that. And I'm being overly cautious here.
Garen's most valuable belongings.
Turn around.
Graves. Could be buried here.
Walk upstairs. I just feel like if I take that, I'm fucking up in some way. Like, it's gonna be a bad thing.
It would seem that even the Thirdlings worship Vrakas, but in all the other kingdoms his shrine would be the biggest, not the statue of the kingdom's progenitor. A couple of gold coins are in the bowl in front of the shrine.
Okay, it seems that there's different clans of dwarves, firstlings through fourthlings. He's a fourthling, though he believed he was a secondling for some reason. The Thirdlings are dwarves that hate dwarves, it seems. Intense self-hatred. Probably shouldn't make an offering here. Probably shouldn't take the gold.
Lorimber, the progenitor of the Thirdlings.
In most of the chronicles about the 5 dwarfen kingdoms, only very little is written about the Thirdlings, and what is written is full of disgust. They are called traitors, or worse.
Yeah, I'm just thinking it probably would be wrong to honor him in one of their shrines, you know? Then again, I'd be doing myself out of experience. Again, I'm just going off gut instinct here. I know nothing about this game beyond that music video.
Here's a... No, forget it.
I don't get it. Ah, thank you, game.
So, Scholar, what are the results of your inquiries?
There is an abandoned fortress in the mountain, and I think it belonged to the Thirdlings.
Boindale's eyes narrow.
The blasted dwarf killers!
A Thirdling fortress? Here? In the middle of Girdlegard? We must let High King Gundrabur know about this.
The fortress has been long abandoned by the looks of it. Anyway, I can't go to Ogre's death until I have completed my quest. Goren is in Greenglade. The High King. Why do you want to bring me to him?
All right then. It's about the choice of the new High King. Gandagar, the king of the Thirdlings, is with his entourage in Ogre's death and is supposed to ascend the throne.
But our acting High King Gundrabur wants to prevent that from happening. He fears that Gandagar wishes to instigate a war against the elves.
But what have I got to do with that?
Boindil is about to say something, but is silenced by a nudge in the side from his brother.
High King Gundrabur will explain everything when the time comes.
You look distrustfully from one twin to the other. Boindil has donned an innocent expression, and Boendal doesn't give you the impression that he has anything else to say on the matter.
What does this King Gandagar have against the elves?
Dwarves and elves just don't get along. Rakus and Satalia made us that way.
I know that, but going to war for just that after all this time?
Well, there must be more behind it. They say that the king of the Thirdlings is full of hatred and is a hothead in this matter.
A Thirdling fortress? Here, in the heart of Girdlegard? That's strange, isn't it?
And worrying. But they've always been wily. They move in the shadows and kill there too if they can. Do you know their story?
I've read about it. Lorenberg, their progenitor, rejected the name that Vrakas gave him, who in turn did not give him any special talents, so his kingdom studied war.
It helps them defending the East, but it also meant they ended up confronting the other kingdoms. No dwarf would ever even think of injuring one of his kind, never mind killing them. But the dwarf killers are proud of it. When they were even more powerful, they wanted to become the rulers of all dwarves. They are envious of our skills. They haven't been heard of for a long time, but you can be sure there isn't a single dwarf alive who doesn't hate them.
Whatever, your High King must wait. I have a quest to carry out in Greenglade.
But our quest is...
Boindil raises a placatory hand and throws his rucksack onto his back in preparation.
Let it be, dear brother. Look at him. He has made his decision, and you will not be able to change his stubborn dwarven mind.
You can't help but smile.
Damn, I was hoping I could, I don't know, run the grave robbing past him or something. Well, I've missed my opportunity. But again, I feel that would have screwed me over or something.
While taking a rest, you see a car trundling along the road not far away from you. A young couple are sitting on the box seat, clearly in love and more interested in each other than the rest of the world around them. The sight reminds you of a long unanswered question.
So, I was wondering, what do female dwarfs look like?
Pretty.
very pretty.
Uh-huh.
You were expecting a little more information.
Do they have beards?
No, I would say it's more like fluff. Oh, very attractive.
And what do they do? I mean, are they warriors too?
In our kingdom, most take care of domestic life. They take the animals down to the meadows and the valleys, make sure the larders are full and that there's plenty of good beer, and make our clothes.
It only ever causes problems when men and women stand shoulder to shoulder in battle.
Some of them are talented stonemasons and smiths, and beware of insulting their skills. They are no less proud than we are.
I remember someone doing nice dwarf woman art before. And yeah, they gave her a beard. Not quite as long as the twins' beards here, but yeah.
Once again, you reach the crossroads and the Stone Sheep Tavern.
I was just gonna move on.
You walk to the nearest empty table with the twins in tow and sit down. The landlord comes out from behind the bar and walks over to your table. He gives a narrow smile.
Good to see you again. What can I get you today?
We're tired and
Of course.
Stop running!
You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing from the lively scene. The sound of metal on metal from the village smithy that would normally be heard above everything else at this time of day. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you, and he jumps to his feet.
Dear Dwarves, could I interest you in helping me in my workshop for a day?
The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope. As you don't answer immediately, he continues.
You will, of course, be royally rewarded for your work. I can offer you 100 gold pieces.
what happened to your arm?
A stupid accident. A box of blanks fell down. I was trying to catch it. It will heal, fortunately, but I won't be able to wield my hammer for a while.
You must have quite a backlog of work.
You nod sympathetically. You always felt bad if you were ill or couldn't work in the forge for some reason or other.
Loads. But if what I hear about the metalworking skills of the dwarves is true, it would be easy for you to manage it in a day.
Yeah, I'm torn.
I could help you, but compared to human standards, I'm a master smith, so my services will cost you more.
The smith gulps.
More? How much?
Give me 150 gold pieces. Then we have a deal.
That is a lot. But, all right. I only hope that your skills are as good as you promise, Mr. Dwarf.
The smith is clearly unhappy that he has to pay you more, but in the end, the most important thing for him seems to be getting the work done. A little later, you are standing in the workshop, examining the smith's inferior tools, while he fires up the forge and prepares everything for the job as well as he can with just one good arm. You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, Boindil declared. But you think it's more probable that you'll find them drinking beer. But you don't care. You're excited about being able to smith again after such a long time. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat of the forge, the sweat on your warm skin, the play of the flames. You're in your element and work as if in a trance. The smith left the workshop ages ago, with a satisfied grin on his face.
Right, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise. Everything but the beating of the hammer had ceased to exist, and you didn't notice that someone has come in.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light grey eyes that it feels as though he wants to look right through you and into your deepest thoughts. The man points to two horses.
Those two, in 1 hour.
These two need shoeing. Oh, no problem.
The man doesn't look convinced, but you get to work with confidence after examining the horses' hooves. Two more armed men are standing next to the horses, sizing you up. You concentrate on the work. The only sound you hear is the melodic beat of the hammer against the anvil. You keep track of the armed men out of the corner of your eyes. You suspect they are mercenaries. While you're fitting the third horseshoe, Another armed man enters the forge and speaks in hushed tones with the leader of the group.
He's the only one here.
The man nods in your direction, and you quickly shift your attention back to the work. You play it cool and complete the work. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men leave the workshop without a word.
So, you're mercenaries, I take it?
You're only trying to engage in conversation, but the man looks at you incredulously, as if he didn't expect dwarves to be able to talk.
Something like that.
Got lots of work? Oh, do you know anything about the armies of orcs from the south?
We can't complain.
The man's tone makes it clear that the conversation has ended here. You carry out the work in silence. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfix you with his eyes. The men leave the workshop without a word.
That went weird. Yeah, that went weird. Because it gave me this bit twice. It's almost as if I wasn't meant to be able to... I was to choose watch them in secret or talk to them, and not both. But then they gave me both.
The men join a larger group of horsemen, more than a dozen, outside the village. You stay hidden and listen.
Not here in the village. Go. Search the road between here and Clintal again.
The other mercenaries nod and the group rides off. You can't make head nor tail of what's going on here, but you don't like it. You tell the twins about your encounter, and they decide to be especially vigilant over the next days. You spend the night in the smith's house and move on the next morning.
Gotcha.
In the early evening, you make an unusual discovery on the side of the road. A colourful trader's wagon has been carelessly abandoned, with not a soul in sight.
I don't like the look of this one bit, Boindil. You take a look around there, I'll stay on this side. Tungdil, you check the surrounding area, and be careful.
You scan the road and the woods on both sides. Apart from the twins who are fighting their way through the undergrowth within earshot, you can't hear or see anyone. The wagon itself isn't damaged, nor is the drawbar, but the belts and leashes that normally hold the draft animals have been cut clean through. You can see a lot of tracks in the mud around the wagon, hoof prints and footprints from humans in heavy boots. At least half a dozen long ones must have approached the wagon from the woods on both sides. The dwindling daylight provides little light inside the wagon. It smells of leather, spices, and candles. And there's another smell in the air, which you can't quite place. It reminds you of your forge in Lot Yonan's vaults, but different. It is messy, but no more so than you would expect from a single dwarf. The bed is rumpled, and there are tools and leftover materials piled up on the little workbench. There are several cupboards hanging on the right-hand wall. At the end of the wagon, there's a large wardrobe, and next to the door on the left is a heavy wooden chest with rusty metal hinges. The smaller cupboards are piled high with a multitude of tins and boxes, all filled with odds and ends that the trader offered for sale to customers on his trips. Nothing of real interest. You reach for the knob of the wardrobe, and then stop. The rug in front of the wardrobe squelches as you step on it, as if you had stepped in a puddle. You try to work out what has soaked the rug, when suddenly, the door of the wardrobe springs open and something bounces into you. You take a step back, and the realization of what hit you makes you take 2 more. Lying on the floor in front of you is the body of a dwarf, headless. His head has been cut clean from his neck. The dwarf is wearing clothes that look more like human robes, and bears no coat of arms that would identify his kingdom. You didn't know him, but no one deserves to die like this. His head is being cut off cleanly, probably with a sharp blade. A quick glance in the wardrobe confirms what you already suspect. The dwarf's head is nowhere to be seen. As you try to lift the lid of the chest, you realize that the lock has been broken out of the wood. You open the lid and look inside. Amongst clothes and some empty boxes, you find a loot case and a beautiful loot of the kind that humans build, as well as a bag of bread and cured meat. You take the loot. You can't play, but an instrument like this is worth good gold. You take the bread and the cured meat. The extra provisions should keep you going for a few days. You give a short, sharp whistle, and the twins come running at the double. You tell them what you found.
A group of horsemen with heavy
Who?
boots has been here. I found Mort in the wagon, beheaded. I have a hunch that the mercenaries from Fallow Rock have something to do with this.
Wretched dwarf killers!
You can tell that Boindle wants revenge and can understand his feelings well. You wrap the body in linen, dig a hole in the woods, and place the body in it. You lay a couple of his tools and other personal belongings you found in the wagon next to him. You wish there was more you could do for him. You continue on your journey in gloomy spirits.
Something I've noticed here with the game is that they expect you to have gone into various encounters and treat it as if you do, even if you haven't. Like, remember with the woodcutters, how the other guy wanted to attack them, and in my game, simply all that happened was we decided this could go poorly, let's not talk to them. This time, like, I think I was meant to have talked to that guy earlier, before I hit the Foul Rock. Faustin. But I didn't. So somehow this guy knows his name telepathically. When if we'd met him earlier, we would have gone to talk to him and at least find out his name.